Anyway, one thing we can do while we wait with the game playing in the background is have a look at the error changes in the dev corner, because I actually haven't read through this yet. Alright, I gotta actually sit up for this one because I have to read. We have updated our community code of conduct. Well, I'll try and behave. Alright, hey everyone! I am back this week to talk to you a bit about some changes we are making to error management and combat. Honestly, I think everybody would have guessed at this point that this was coming because, well, I mean, it's been a long time. Like, and we all said, like, hey, if we're gonna get like if after the Navy designer, we're gonna get a tank designer, 100% they're gonna work on error later. But yeah, the first thing I want to get out of the way is that this is not a man-the-gun style rework of combat and management systems. I should have listened, or should have read. Our focus on error changes have mostly revolved around quality of life and balance changes to existing systems, while largely maintaining the structures people are familiar with a couple of exceptions. So let's get into it. 100 is the standard now. Is it the maximum or standard? Starting off with quality of life change, I'm very happy about simplified wing development. Anyone who has experience with managing air wings probably has some complaints about how deploying wings works. The life system requires 3 clicks in the best case, 4 if you include choosing a base, to deploy a single air wing into an empty base. In the worst case, this requires more clicks and doing some math for creating a large wing that can later be divided evenly. Now we are adding quick deploy buttons to the airbase UI to allow deployment of a wing in a single click. I like that. That's cool. That's cool. We're also keeping the old deployment menu for more advanced deployment options. Also in this menu, we have simplified the flow for deploying single and multiple wings at once. That's nice. I hope that also includes that you no longer have to scroll through 5 million types of airplanes. Yeah, if you don't want to, that is. So this is how it's going to look. I click to add plane types for quick deploy. Oh, okay. And then the quick deploy would just be clicking on one of these buttons and then one air wing of 100 pops out. That's nice. In the second image, we see the newer version of quick deploy within the advanced deployment menu. You now have a set of filters to only show planes of a specific type. And you can now set the reinforced preferences and all. Okay, yeah, nice. So you can click on only carrier fighters, only carrier casts, only bombers. What's this? TAC bombers? Or, no, it's heavy fighters even. Fuck. TAC bombers or... Yeah, okay, cool. I like that. One of the most visible changes to air management, and hopefully a big quality of life improvement for most people, is the addition of air groups. The first thing I want to say that this is not an army group or fleet. For now and the foreseeable future, we are not adding air marshals or any sort of mechanical impact to using air groups, okay? Air groups are an organizational structure, nothing more. What it will do is enable grouping and selection of multiple air wings across multiple locations for easier management. Okay, so just like a kind of a theater thing. Cool. These groups will be displayed in air map mode so that you don't have to hunt down your air wings on the map when you want to interact with them. Yeah, so it's literally just like the task force manager, but then you only get to have the manager part of it. Okay, I actually really like this, because if you're like mid multiplayer game and you're going 3-speed and you're AC, there's nothing more annoying than having to click in like 5 different air bases to get your shit out, because in that specific region you deployed them in, there weren't any 2K bases or anything like that. Just whatever. I love this. It also means that if you want to redeploy your air, and this is once again specifically for multiplayer, very useful, but it's quality of life for single player as well. You don't have to pan across the entire map to get your squadron. So like, hey, I want to select these guys to go to this airport. Normally you would just dump all like 5K planes into one airport and then distribute them locally. But now you can actually do that without panning over. That's nice. I like that. Alright, so of the changes we are making, one of the most notable is moving to standardized/fixed wing sizes. This change comes with a loss of flexibility in some situations and makes managing smaller numbers of airplanes a bit more complicated. However, I think that real air combat in HOI4 is measured in thousands of airplanes and not dozens. He's not wrong, because we all just pile them into one zone and go ham. Like the AI does that, players do that. There's not much, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, so I agree with that. We're currently looking at 100-sized wings for most aircraft with size, 10 wings for a few specific equipment types. So scout planes, CV planes, yeah, okay, that makes sense, because CV planes, obviously you have like a maximum of 60 on characters in vanilla. You have a maximum of 60 planes on carriers in vanilla. That's what I meant to say. This allows us to streamline wing deployment and some other management stuff, such as not having AI take up weird percentages of bases. I like that, because that's like one of the most annoying things ever. Yeah, you're playing the UK and you want to deploy bombers to the Med, and there's Polish bombers in your air base that screw up the like total amount you can put there, so it's annoying, and then they don't move out. I like that. It also makes balance easier and fixes a few exploit cases. Yeah, it fixes the cast exploit. If you don't know what the cast exploit is right now, cast, if you have 1,000 cast planes in one air wing, they will all join single battles, where normally they would only join with as many as would be allowed with combat with. It's a bug that's been there since NSB, and it's what made cast super exploitable. So if you didn't know, now you know. This may take some getting used to, but I feel it improves the overall experience of managing large numbers of aircraft. No, I'm 100% with this. This is a great update. I really like this update. This is really good. This is actually really good. I hope it's a base game update, because this is genuinely very good quality of life stuff. The final change I want to discuss today is, in addition to the combat system, we are adding a new mechanic for intercepting planes in regions en route to their target. Oh! In most cases, engaging planes in their target region will be most effective, but in others, such as when range is a factor, the region being crossed has a bunch of engagement and spotting bonuses, and in a few other cases, leaning into combat in an intermediary region can be a good idea. So, strap bombers have been a major issue in HOI4 for quite a while, because their damage is way too high, right? If you have vanilla strap bombers do way too much damage. So I like the fact that they're finally making it a thing that you can, this realistically happened as well, like way back in the day, like during World War II. Like the Germans would, of course, intercept the strap bombers, or so would the British, and vice versa, and whoever. Like you would engage them long before they got to their bombing target, right? Like you don't want to engage bombers at their bombing target, because at that point, it's already way too late. Like you want to engage them long before they get there. So I like that. That's something that's been missing from this game for a long time. And I hope that this will actually help balancing out strap bombers. Because like I said, strap bombers right now, like the reason that most multiplayer mods either nerf them into the ground, including my own community mod, like we nerfed it into the ground by making it way too expensive to deploy them. They either nerf them into the ground, or they ban them and they only say, hey, you can only use strap bombs because their strap bombing damage isn't that high. It's for the reason that they're too strong, because they cannot be intercepted. I'm talking about strat 2s and strat 3s. They're so incredibly strong. Like you can legit, if you're playing multiplayer, and you've got the USA 150 factories and strap bombers, and they right-click Germany, 2,000 strap bombers every tile. The best you can do is immediately divert all your air from doing what it should be doing, which is fighting over Africa, fighting on Barb or whatever. You have to deploy everything to defending your home, and even then, you'll only be diverting or stopping like 50% of the bombers, and they will just get through and they'll nuke anything, right? They'll go through your factories like nothing. Within a few months, like half your mills will be red. Not a good position to be in, and they can just nuke your infra. And obviously, compare it now with TAC bombers, which can also still, or they can now attack your supply as well. It's not a good position to be in. So good update. I like it a lot.